Are you guys pretty much ready to go here?
Yeah, I'm just creeping Facebook until we're ready to go.
Sick.
We recording?
Yes, we are.
Cool.
Hello, and welcome.
Never forget the welcome.
Tonight we are going to be reviewing Pokemone Go. Might be daytime when you're listening it, but...
I think this is episode number 70. I think Travis told me the number. I'm pretty sure it's number 70.
Okay, well, we're
So
gonna
hello,
go
welcome to GeekVerse episode number 70. I am the Piper at the Gates of Dawn, Dylan Moss.
Can I ask what that's...
That is the first Pink Floyd album title.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not related to Pokemon, at all.
No.
Oh, okay.
But it sounds like it could be, almost.
Kinda.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the Arcanine, Taylor Field.
Ooh.
Because I love Arcanine.
I like it. That was clever. Nice use of... Kind of like a pun, a little bit.
A little bit.
Fun.
A little bit.
I am the Forever Young Jessica.
Forever Young.
Yeah, like Ash. He's been 10 forever.
Cool. I get it.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're reviewing Pokemon Go. I guess first off, just so the fans know how much we've played the game, what level are you? What's your team name? Not team name, but what team did you pick?
So I picked Valor. Shout out to Valor.
Red team?
Best team. I'm level 14, halfway to 15. And
Okay.
my strongest Pokemon is a Primeape, and he's 522, I believe.
Nice. How about you, Taylor?
Well, I'm a bit of a leech because I don't have a phone at this moment. So
He has a phone with no internet.
basically.
Or with no 3G or whatever
No
it is.
data.
So I'm level 4. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be picking Team Valor, and my strongest Pokemon is my Mankey I just caught.
You know, you can order them
54.
so that way the toughest one is at the top, right?
I'm gonna have to do that.
If
now
you
I
push
know.
the button in the corner, there you go, and then it'll ask you how you want to order them.
Oh, power. Ooh.
There.
Oh, no, it's my Magnemite. 61.
There we
Wow.
go. Okay,
61.
now we know.
I thought you had played a little bit more. Okay, you know how saying Parks and Rec, great place? You can use the internet there that you can reach from the 3 stops.
Really?
So that's the place to be for you.
Oh, there's internet there too?
Yeah.
Is it Shaw Go internet?
I think it's Shaw Open, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm Telus.
Well, you can connect to it, so.
The Shaw? You have to have a Shaw account to connect to Shaw.
Yeah, but I can get you the password. It's just a classic password.
Hook me up.
Yeah, I will. And myself, I'm level 15 right now. I picked Team Instinct, of course, Team Yellow, best team, the only team. Highest CP Pokemon is Magneton, 575.
Nice.
I got a sweet Jinx, level 491.
Yeah, I got Jinx 445. I'm loving it.
That's pretty hype.
I got an Omnanite the other day too. Actually, I'm pretty stoked. It's 400.
I was driving home today. My sister was driving and I was playing, and there was an Omnite on the road, and I clicked it, and it was the first one I've seen, so I was super hyped. I threw a Pokeball at it, it escaped, and then it ran away again, just like the Kingler that I saw today. It has not been a good day for me in Pokemon Go. They've been escaping like crazy.
Not today, but like it was like 2 days ago. I was playing. I ran into a Tauros, which is like our special one for our region.
NA, yeah.
Yeah, and it had like its combat power was question mark because I didn't have anything that high. So I threw like 3 raspberries at it, and then after like 3 Pokeballs, it still ran away.
That's
and
annoying.
I was so mad. I was like, I gave you berries.
That happened to me for just a random Magnemite. I just, for some reason, kept throwing Pokeballs at it, and it just escaped anyway. It hurts, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think of the game overall now that you've played it for? Well, I guess Taylor's still pretty new, but
Well, I know.
but you love Pokemon.
I love
right?
Pokemon. I know a decent amount.
Yeah.
I really like it. It is unfortunate. I guess kind of my only complaint, I'll just get that out of the way, is that it is data.
Mhm.
Just because, like, for me, I'm on a shared plan, so when me and Matt both play it, I run out of data
Yeah.
quite quick. So, other than that, I really love it. I love Pokemon. I love that you can, you'll be sitting at dinner and all of a sudden you'll find a random Pokemon.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good game.
Taylor?
I mean, I love the Pokemon games. I think this is an awesome experience just to get out. I hate being limited. I mean, I've not been a fan of really getting a phone, but this could be the reason why I go and get a cell phone. Not to keep in touch with family, to play and catch Pokemon. Not even kidding. Well, just to go out there and
I definitely upgraded my phone. I could play it on my old phone, but it was not too great of an experience. And I will say Pokemon Go was a shining reason for me getting a new phone, so definitely worth it. For you just need the data.
Just the data, yeah. I mean, that feeling like when we're all about to finish, like, and head out, but we just went outside, like, oh yeah, there's a Pokemon out there? Let's all go, and we all just go down the street and try and catch it. Like, it's an awesome experience.
For me, that's what I've been loving about the game so far. It's just, like, all, like, you were saying that, story of you just throwing in, like, multiple Pokeballs and berries. I just love the little story. Everyone has, like, their own different experience with the game so far. And, like, for me, it was like I was telling you guys the story. Me and my friend McCall, we've been playing the game a ton together. And we were just, like, sitting playing Overwatch at, like, 12:30 at night the other day. And, like, I had Pokevision open, which kind of helps you track some Pokemon. And there was, like, a Haunter that was, like, halfway across town. And we're like, dude, we want to go get that? We have 12 minutes on the clock. Let's go get it. And so we just left. We just left our Overwatch game, went to go find it. And for me, that's what I love about it. Obviously, there's, like, quite a few problems with the game. The servers right now are obviously under heavy stress. And that's why I heard the 3-step system thing is in place right now. So normally, obviously, like, there's a step count under the Pokemon, and then it goes from 3 when you get closer to 2, when you're really close to 1, and then you find it. So apparently they just turned that off right now because it's much more server intensive.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I've been using that website Pokevision to help me find stuff, because other than that, like, you really have no way to actually tell if you're getting closer to it, other than, I guess, it moving up your list. But, like, I don't even know if that's accurate.
No, and
so,
I mean,
that's definitely, like, the main problem right now, I'd say.
Well, the servers are so overloaded because there was a bunch of people that downloaded it illegally at first, right, and kind of overloaded it. And I mean, even since it's come out, like, I think they topped it was like 25 million daily users. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's a lot for no-name servers to handle. So you kind of got to give them credit. I think that give it a couple weeks, it'll even out. Yeah,
exactly. Because there's a lot of people who are just going to check it out, play it for a little bit, and then move on. Yeah. Whereas I think for this game, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to stick around and play it for a while. Yeah. I know I'll definitely be one of them, but yeah, I mean, there's no reason to, like, get more servers than they need if a lot of people are just going to drop off.
Well,
it'll be interesting to see, like, what the numbers are like after, like, a month or two, right?
Well, I was downtown.
And it's out in all regions now, isn't it?
Was it released in Japan now?
Yeah. Released in Japan, like, a few days ago. Like.
Then I think it's everywhere now.
Nice.
So... But yeah, like, I was downtown, and I was asking random people. There was this Machamp, and because the 3 steps didn't work, I was just like, hey, have you seen this Machamp? And, like, I asked this older couple, and they, like, didn't even know the names of the Pokemon, but they were just, like, out there downtown checking out the game.
That's cool.
So, I mean, there are definitely people that are just out to check it out that aren't going to be the hardcore fans, but that's another thing that I love.
Did they have the answer for you? Did they know where the Machamp was?
No, they didn't even know what a Machamp was. And I'm like, it's a guy with 4 arms, and they're like, oh... I kind of know...
The guy that's played by the Rock.
Yeah, exactly. They called Pidgey Piggy.
Okay.
So,
I can see that.
They were trying.
1 letter off.
So, it's fun. It's a fun game. And, I've met a lot of people just from that exact thing, like walking around, hey, are you want to drop a lure, or should I drop a lure? Yeah. Just random conversations. Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool, too, because Kelowna, it's not really a small town, but it's... compared to a lot of Vancouver, which is our nearest city that everyone knows. And it's cool that even in here, there's so many gyms and so many Pokestops, and, like, people have already found, like, all the hot spots. There's, like, a rec center in the middle of our town that has 3, like, Pokestops that you can reach from one spot. They're lured all the time. There's, like, 50, 60 people hanging out there until, like, 1 a.m., like, every day. It's crazy. And then, like, downtown, obviously, is, like, the hot spot. I haven't even been to downtown yet and play the game. But
it's really fun down there. There's the same thing. There's a place where you can reach 3 lures from the one point downtown, and it's right on the water. So, like, I caught a Lapras and a Seal and a Poliwhirl, and
you have a Poliwhirl?
I got a Poliwhirl. Yeah.
I'm so jealous. That's like right now. I want a Poliwrath and a Gengar, and then my life's complete.
I want a Gengar so bad.
Those are the 2 I want the most.
Ugh.
So, what do you think of the gym system? Have you done much of that yet? Obviously, you're not level 5 yet, Taylor. So you've seen it at least, I would imagine. But Jessica, what do you think of the?
I don't mind the gym system per se. Like, I think it's fun. You can go in, you can battle, like, if you and your friends take on a gym at the same time, you can fight the same
cool.
Pokemon at the same time. What I don't like is their reward system, because have you tried collecting rewards at all? Do you know how it works?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll explain it for any fans that are listening, or Taylor that doesn't know. So basically, if you take over a gym, you can collect a reward. So the more gyms you have, the bigger your reward is. But you can only collect a reward once every 21 hours, and if you lose a gym, you don't get anything for it if you didn't collect. So if I had one gym and I collected, and then I got another gym, I can't collect anything for it for 21 hours. If I have 3 gyms and I go to collect, and all of a sudden someone takes one and I only have 2, I only get collection for 2.
And so you collect in-game Stardust, which for me has been like kind of useless. Like, you don't really need as much Stardust as you have. I find usually, right?
It depends how much you're powering up something. So, like, if you have a final form of something, and, like, so for, like, if I had a Machamp...
But I feel like even then, it's like the candy is the thing you need, not the Stardust. Like,
I've heard that once you get higher level...
The Stardust becomes something you have to kind of save up.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And then, so you get that, and then you also get the coins, which are used in, like, the cash shop of the game. And so for each gym, you get 10 coins. It's not like a multiplayer. It's just literally 10 for each one. 10 coins is not a lot.
No.
It's really nothing. I think it's like, what is it, 100 coins or 80 coins for like 12 Pokeballs or something? 20 Pokeballs. So like, that's pretty measly. And so yeah, it's hard, like, especially right now, I guess. Maybe it'll change later, but as it stands right now, I live in one part of town, and you can't keep a gym for more than maybe 20 to 30 minutes at maximum if you're lucky. Yeah. And that's like even for like, that's for like a smaller gym. If you're like on one of the gyms that's on the main road, good luck keeping that for like 10, 15 minutes, even at like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
When I was downtown, I couldn't keep a gym for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, downtown I would imagine like not even worth it, really.
Yeah. So.
And like, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of the battling of it yet.
Just mashing the screen.
Yeah, I mean, I like the traditional Pokemon battles. I understand why it's not in the game.
But you couldn't really do it that way.
You really can't,
with
right?
multiplayer and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
The one thing that I don't like is like you'll go in and battle a gym, and so say you're at a level 7 gym and there's 7 Pokemon, and you'll go in and you'll go all the way through it, defeat all 7 Pokemon, and then it takes out the first Pokemon, and then it's a 6 Pokemon gym, and it's like, okay, well now I have to beat it all again.
I'm not super against that because I think it's super hard to keep a gym as it is. So I think that, because that's like the prestige system, right? So like if your gym has a ton of prestige, then like someone could go through your entire gym, I'm pretty sure. Let's say you have 6 Pokemon on there. They could go through the entire thing and it might not even knock one off. I'm pretty sure if your prestige is high enough.
Oh, okay.
I don't know exactly how it works. The problem comes, though, in that leveling up your gym, getting the prestige up, takes forever. It takes way too long. It is not worth it as it stands. Plus, like there's really no gym I've seen that's like super difficult yet, just because even if you have a full gym of 10 people and like it's 1,000 plus, you can get like multiple people. Everyone gets 6 Pokemon, so you can just whittle it down eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know. The battling of it, I guess I'm okay with it because I imagine they'll eventually add like player 1v1 battles that are like the Pokemon games. At least I hope they do, like the turn-based.
Yeah.
I hope they add that sort of thing eventually. Yeah, I will agree the reward system is pretty lame. Even if you beat a gym, you get like 150 experience or something, or like 300 maybe if there's a bunch of Pokemon there. Like, that's nothing, right? Like, it just doesn't feel worth it.
I just feel if you get a Pokemon in a gym, just like 10 coins. And then, like, when you're wiped out, whatever, if you take another gym back, then it's 10 coins. Something like that, just, I don't know, to only be able to reap rewards every, like, 21 hours.
I even think it'd be fine, like, obviously the collect system, I think it should multiply, like, if you have 2 gyms, not 20 coins, but maybe, like, 50 or something, that it could, like, I don't know, multiplier sort of thing.
Yeah.
But even just, like, taking a gym out and getting nothing for it feels like our obviously everyone knows Travis, his biggest complaint, it seems, is that, like, he ran out of Pokeballs and, like, can't get more. So, like, I think taking out a gym and getting some Pokeballs from, like, taking out a gym, I think that'd be, an awesome reward. That would be fair and, like, balanced and stuff, rather than just getting, like, a measly amount of experience that you get from catching one Pokemon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even, like, if you get a couple of coins, like even if it's only like 5 coins every time you take a gym or put a Pokemon in a gym, I mean, eventually you'll get enough to get Pokeballs if you just keep taking gyms. So it kind of goes back to that. Because, I mean, I agree. Like, from my house, I have no Pokestops anywhere. Like, I have to walk 20 minutes to get to a Pokestop.
That's pretty unfortunate, yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I do agree that to either buy them or go to a Pokestop is kind of lame. I mean, there are spots, like, where you find, like, 3 Pokestops in one. You can sit there and just, every 5 minutes, just rotate them all. But it would be nice if there was another way besides having to go sit somewhere for half an hour to stock up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the gym system right now.
Rumor is they're adding more to it.
I think they will eventually, but I mean, we can only review the game that we have right now, right?
It's true.
Trading is obviously like an essential Pokemon feature that's not in there yet.
And battling other people.
That's why it feels kind of weird to review this game like right now. And I think maybe we should do another review in a few months or something, just as the game updates, because Niantic has, talked about all the ideas they have and things they're going to change, and obviously when the servers are better, all these things. But I mean, we can only play with what we have right now. I think it's. What do you think of like the fact that Pokemon really only spawn in like populated areas?
I have a hard time with their spawn system, just because. Like I said, because I don't have Pokestops near my house, so I don't have a lot of spawn points.
Right.
So, like, for me, if I leave my house, I have to walk a fair ways before I even start to get into areas where things start to spawn. Like, there was one day I went and walked through Benley Park, and I walked all around the edge, and I had, like, 1 Rattata pop up, and that was it. So, I don't know. I think there needs to be some work to even it out. Like, if I go sit downtown, even if there's no lures going, I'll have, like, a whole bunch of Pokemon just pop up because it's such a dense area.
Yeah.
But I just think it needs to be evened out a little better.
Yeah. I mean, I think the way I see it, it's, like, it makes sense that they're going for, like, a really social game where you're meant to play with other people. And, I mean, obviously I've talked to a bunch of random people who are just playing this game, and I think that's cool. But I was like, I've been on a couple hikes where, like, I don't even know how I have cell reception or anything like that. And, like, I'm out playing Pokemon Go, and there's absolutely nothing. I'm like, you would think in, like, the wild on the top of a mountain...
Yeah, well,
obviously, it's hard for them to track that sort of thing, but like,
I was in the middle of the
I
lake
want to find a
today.
Geodude at the top of the mountain. Why not? Or like something more rare.
Yeah, you're a hiker.
It like exactly like why? I feel like that would make sense.
Well, like I was in the middle of the lake today. Like went out on my mom's boat, and there's nothing.
I've heard a rumor that there's a gym in the middle of the lake. Is that true? Did you find it?
Not that I saw. I know there is one somewhere else. Some girls went out in a canoe and took it.
Oh, really?
But it wasn't in Kelowna.
Oh, okay.
So if there's one in Kelowna, I'll try and find it.
You should investigate. I really want to know if that's actually real. That sounds cool.
Go canoe out to it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Take a look here right now. See what I find.
I thought there were a lot of Pokemon that were able to be found like near water or on water, because I keep seeing like pictures pop up of people that are like making fun of people being brave enough to go out into the water to try and catch like specific water types. Is that true?
Well, there is like we were talking about this a little bit before cast. There is like certain regions. So in the game, like mostly street is just I don't know what that area is considered, but there's a park outside my house, and it's like it has like a dark green texture on the ground, and so I don't know what that means exactly, but it's clearly some differentiation or like maybe the different Pokemon spawn there or something. But then yeah, obviously like water types. Spawn most commonly, like if you're out by the lake, you're going to find a lot more water types than I've never seen any like around my house, right? But I almost don't like how it works exactly, because there's a couple of bodies of water like out in the park by my house. I've never seen a water type in there, so I think it has to be like a big enough body of water for it to actually spawn water types in there. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but there definitely is like different regions. Like for example, in Kelowna, our most common stuff is like Pidgeys, Rattatats, Meowths, Drowsies, and like Magnetons are pretty common. I think that's like most of our town in general, not just my house. But it's funny, like you hear people who are on like East Coast Canada and stuff, and like their most common stuff are like Caterpies, or I don't know, like just it's funny how there is some sort of region thing to it. I don't know exactly how it works it. But there's it's funny how many people are just like labbing the heck out of this game and like figuring out all these things.
So, on the map, when you see those green leaves start rustling, because I've gone to a point where I'm literally standing right on top of them, and I'm not finding any Pokemon.
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
I've heard that the green leaves rustling are just like a red herring, pretty much. Like, they don't actually mean anything. They're just...
Oh, just for, like,
they're just on the map, yeah.
Okay.
I was just wondering if that was maybe broken, and it was something they were going to fix.
It is possible that's broken. Maybe it's, like, just to... get people to go out there and check those areas out. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just to get people moving. Like, oh, I wonder what that is. I've had just like anyone who has experience with the game probably thinking like they have limited experience with it actually spawning stuff reliably. It seems kind of random, and I think it is from what I've heard. But once again, that could just be because the servers right now obviously aren't at what they want the game to be at. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I don't know about that for sure, but. Jessica, what are you doing? You looking at maps right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there is a gym in the middle of Okanagan Lake. But it doesn't seem like there is, unfortunately. Or I would totally go and take it.
The gyms are all just randomly generated, right?
They were from previous game.
Yeah. So, yeah, for those who don't know, Niantic Labs, who makes this game, it's actually not any of like the Pokemon Company people. They had a game called Ingress, and it was, I'm pretty sure, like a capture the flag sort of game.
Yeah.
And so... they had some sort of way to use like Google Maps systems and whatnot to pick out hotspots. So I guess you don't have 3G, Taylor, so you aren't like traveling around things, but as anyone who's played the game knows, every single church, from my experience, is a Pokestop or a gym. Every single one. Like, it's pretty reliable. Parks are pretty reliably Pokestops, if not gyms. So there is, I don't know what exactly their methods are, but there is like some consistent things like like I said, just parks and
downtown Penticton is like loaded with
pretty bumping.
Whoa!
Is that Pokestops?
Pokestops and gyms.
Oh my god, that actually looks insane. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of like you know those if you go down like obviously this is just for people in Kelowna, but you know on like Rutland Road, if you go down Rutland Road, kind of like when you're getting into the 7-Eleven, there's like random windmills. Like on like someone's house, like that's a Pokestop for some reason. Really? So I don't know what their system is, but clearly
people went around and made them all before.
Was that how it is?
Yeah. So they had
So was that the people who played Ingress? Like
yeah, the last game.
Okay.
Yeah, they were all so now, but that wasn't as popular as this, so it wasn't a big deal, right? But now because it's becoming more popular, like there's things that people didn't know were stops in the last game. Like, there was some lady, like, her son has, like, a public memorial, and she's upset because she's getting all these teenagers, like, trampling through. So, like, things like that are becoming more shed into light. So they are working on removing some Pokestops and adding
I've heard people have been, like, requested to get some out of there.
Yeah, but as far as I know, it was all, they had, like, people submit stops for their last game, and they got approved that way.
Okay. I just found it weird that, like, every single church I've seen, and there's for some reason a lot in Rutland, part of town. Like, it seems weird to me that every single one is something. Like, I would have thought that, like, for some reason, like, the keyword, like, church would trigger something in their system. But, I have heard a few people, just from talking around to people playing this game now, a few of them did play Ingress, clearly, if there's a bunch of Pokestops in Kelowna, so...
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I was looking
There's probably a combination of people submitted stuff and then, like, some sort of system.
Probably, I'm sure. Because, I mean, if you're basically just relying on the users, then you'd get people that are, like, making their house a Pokestop.
Like 500 Pokestops in their
exactly.
House, yeah.
So, another question I have is the legendaries. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, like, do you guys know what the deal is with them in the game? Are they in there?
They haven't really said much on it, so there's speculation that it's probably going to be event-based based on your team.
Based on your team?
That's speculation.
Well, they've mentioned, like, plans of, like, city events, so I don't know what exactly that entails, but they could say, you know, everyone meet at this spot on this day. That could be your city event. I don't know how it works, right? But as far as the legendaries... Some people apparently have them. There's also a lot of people that are hacking the game already, so I'm not sure if anyone actually has legendaries legitimately. I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
So I think that's the 3 legendary birds, Mewtwo, and, like, Ditto, I'm pretty sure, is the other one that, like, no one has
Isn't
yet.
Farfetch'd in there as well?
Farfetch'd is the Japan exclusive character, so some people probably have it.
You can hatch it. So you can hatch any
That's
area
true,
exclusive if you have the right egg. So like Tauroses are exclusive. Farfetch is a Japan exclusive. And then what's Mr. Mime is another?
I think he's Europe, and then Kangaskhan is Australia.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but you can hatch them. You just can't catch them. So, but people are hacking the games to get those too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ditto, no one's found yet, except for the hacked version, the legendaries as well. So.
I really like now that we bring up the egg system, I think that's really good. I think, because if you have like a 2K egg, it has pretty much like all those crappy things like Pidgeys and Rattatas, but it also has the starters, so like it feels worth it to use those.
Yeah.
And then even if you do get like a Pidgey, you get a bunch of candy, so you can evolve it and get some free experience.
Too.
Yeah, Stardust. So I actually really like the way that system works, and then like when you have a 10K egg, it's like it's really exciting when one hatches.
Yeah, I know.
And then the moment when you get an Onyx that you already have a bunch of, and Onyx is terrible, and it's like
I've gotten 0 10K eggs. I'm so upset about it. 0.
You haven't picked up any?
No 10K eggs.
That's unfortunate.
It is. Matt's gotten 5, and I've gotten 0.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I got an Onyx who is just a terrible.
I don't even have an Onyx yet, so I
have 4, and they're all like it's just a bad Pokemon. That's actually another complaint from me is like it seems like they just inherently picked what Pokemon they want to be like the best almost.
Like Ponyta is so OP.
Ponyta, yeah,
is so OP.
And Rapidash are like have like solid stats, and some Pokemon just have really bad stats. Like Onyx, for example.
It is partly level based, so like the higher your level, in theory, the higher CP you're supposed to find.
Yeah, but there is still limits on like what some of them can be. And so for me, Onyx is one of my favorite Pokemon, but he's awful in this game. Like,
well, keep collecting the candies. When they add the next gen, you can evolve him.
You can't. I guess Steelix eventually.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's true.
Well, and you know about like the bar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, look, maybe you're not finding them all that strong. Maybe they're low on the CP bar.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like I said, like a lot of people have already labbed the hell out of this game and like know, or I guess don't know for sure, but like have a good idea of what like the maximum levels for some Pokemons are, and like some are just inherently lower than others, which is, I mean, obviously a lot of it's level based, but some of it is just straight up some Pokemon being worse. Like even just when it comes down to gyms, and like some Pokemon just have like a higher attack speed. Like Cabutops, I think, has the highest, followed by like Magneton or something. But like some are like Hypno. Oh my God, that guy takes like 3.5 years to attack.
Have you seen any Gyarados around? Have you noticed what they're like? Because I mean, it takes 400 candies.
I've seen like I think one Gyarados on a gym once or something.
I want to know if it's worth it to find that many candies.
It's not. Gyarados are apparently pretty bad, like in general. Like
then why is it so many?
That's why it's a complaint for me. Like it just seems like I feel like every Pokemon should have the same, I guess, like potential. I guess, which doesn't seem to be the case. Obviously, I'm level 15, so I could just be some silly noob, right? But like, I mean, I guess no one's even hit. I wonder what the highest level is. Like
Well, someone hit 40 recently now. So
I heard that was the max, like that was the cap level.
But I don't believe that was done legitimately though.
I wouldn't doubt if it was hacked.
Because I was reading about like apparently I don't know how much experience it is for each level, but apparently 39 to 40 is like absurd amount, like over 1 million at least. And so some guy was saying he can like reliably get like 100,000 or more like experience a day, like. Just I feel like if you're in a hotspot, like that's actually like totally viable.
Maybe
because like PokeVision, which I used to track the Pokemon, that like defaults to Santa Monica Pier or something like that.
And there's tons there.
It's ridiculous, like the amount of stuff that's in that spot. So if you're like playing this game a lot and you're buying eggs and you're doing all that stuff, he was saying he could get like reliably like 100,000 or something. He was saying at that rate he could get to level from 39 to 40 in like 3 months or something. So like it's a ridiculous amount. So I don't think anyone's hit 40 like
legitimately.
Yeah, but like I said, there's a lot of cheaters already. Like a lot of people using GPS spoofs and stuff like that. I was actually funny. I was on my the App Store or the Play Store, whatever it's called, on Samsung, and like one of the top download things is like a GPS spoof. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that's for. Like,
you know what? It might be worth it. You know,
I'm not gonna. I've heard people have been getting banned for that.
I've heard there's been a lot.
So I'm not gonna mess with that.
I've heard, that, and then people that were doing the fake download before, I heard people got banned for that, so it seems like they're actually monitoring their servers quite a bit.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything else specific about like gameplay stuff?
It'd be nice if their system for hatching was a little better.
What do you mean by that?
Just because, like, the amount of steps that it kind of like glitches and stuff like that, because it's not based on like your steps taken or anything like that. It does like checks your status and then a second later checks again, and if you've moved, then it considers that movement. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a pedometer where it actually like constantly checks.
That's a good point. I was thinking like because a lot of smartphones have like speed or like
mine has a pedometer
step counters, right?
Yeah.
And so that would be like a wonderful system because then you wouldn't need to have your phone open if you just want to get distance.
Or
on your
if
egg.
they had it as running as a background app, so I didn't have to like keep my phone unlocked 24/7. Like if my phone locks and I keep walking and I don't notice.
Well, that's the
wristband.
That's what the wristband will be for. And so that I wonder if they'll add a step counter on that too. I think that should definitely be a feature because like that hatching thing is kind of a problem. I mean, the way around it is you could drive your car. Apparently.
No. If you move too much distance, it won't count it.
Yeah, but you can drive at like 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, I've done that. I've like gone in a parking lot and like driven really slowly.
Yeah, so like you if you want to like you can do that if you want. But I think there should definitely be a step counter. I don't know if that's like. Do all phones have that now? Like, I don't know.
Does yours, Taylor?
Pretty sure mine does.
Yeah.
I feel like any phone that can run this game also probably has that capability.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that would be good because, yeah, I mean, obviously, if your goal is just like hatch some eggs, like you don't like. What's the reason for having your phone out with like the 3G activated the whole time?
Yeah, well,
using data. Like it seems.
Yeah. And well, it's like if I'm like, say I have somewhere to be and I'm gonna walk there, but I'm not walking to catch Pokemon. I'm just walking to go go to work or whatever. It'd be nice to be able to just like have it going in my pocket and hatching my eggs even if I'm not catching Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually thanks for bringing that up because I totally forgot to mention that. But I mean, here the thing with this game, right, is it's still so new and there's so many like promised features and stuff. So I think this is going to be a game that we're going to keep updating. I don't know if we'll do another like full review episode of it, but maybe just like if a new update comes out, I'm sure we'll all be playing it, talk about it.
Yeah.
As for right now, I'm having a lot of fun with the game, and I think for what it has right now, it doesn't really have that much features, but I'm still going back to it like all the time, and like I'm playing it a ton, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So.
Well, when me and Matt go out driving, like he'll have both our phones, and like if we drive past the Pokestop, he'll like try and get them, or if a Pokemon pops up. So it's fun, right? And it's good. I've met a lot of people. I enjoy playing it. It's gotten me out of the house. It's definitely, I mean, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I definitely see that could go up once they get some issues fixed.
Yeah.
But even right now, like, I'm super in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Taylor, you have much more limited experience than we do. But.
Well, I'd still give it, I would give it like a 9 out of 10. I hate that. The one reason it's not 10 out of 10 is because I need data. And I know that's not their fault. It's my own fault.
Yeah. But I mean, there could be features without data. Like the egg hatching could happen without data. You know, things like that.
I mean, it is easy. I mean, like I can go out and connect to Shellgo wherever, because Shellgo is literally everywhere, so I could do that. The one thing that I really do like about it is the fact
2 hotspots of our town do have internet connections.
They do? I gotta go check them out.
So yeah, you have that.
I love that it is an app in the sense that regular games, you have to wait months for a patch, or sometimes weeks, you have to wait a long time. But with apps, they can dish out an update every day if they want.
Mm-hmm.
Even little
the
tweaks.
Only update they've released was for minor text issues.
Minor text issues, yeah.
Freaking minor text issues.
I don't care about text issues.
Oh. Not the priority here, guys. Come on. What are you doing?
It's super hard for me to put a number on this game just because I know this number's going to fluctuate, and I don't even know. I don't know. Right now, I'm having a ton of fun with it, so I'll just drop it an 8.5, right in between you two. Like I said, it's kind of hard to like give it a be all end all review number.
It's definitely
right?
not an end all number.
But all I know is that I'm playing it all day, every day, so it's a great game so far.
Yeah, it's a great game. There's some room for improvement still.
Well, there's a ton of like problems, but like I'm still having fun with it. So it's like there's problems, but like whatever.
It's fun enough that you look over it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's what I got.
Yeah, I think this is, a first review, I think we've talked enough about it.
It almost feels like we're reviewing like a beta or something.
It kind of, yeah, there's so much, like they've said, they're only at 10% of where the game's going to end at. So it's still really...
That sounds like a classic developer statement.
Yeah, exactly. So, in theory, a long way to go. We'll
Yeah.
review it again. When Taylor has actually got a team trying to take over a gym.
I'll be level 50 by that time, and I'll be loaded.
Loaded.
All Arcanines.
Oh, okay, good luck.
Alright, Taylor, where can they find us?
Oh, well, with that awesome 3G connection that I don't have, you can go into the search bar on Google, type in GeekVerse Space Podcast. You'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. That's
YouTube.
what I'm missing.
Don't forget the
very
YouTube. YouTube's
Yeah.
great.
Huge.
Follow us. You follow on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at, I'm hip with the kids.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think of the game. Let us know what your level is, what team you're on, and what your favorite, what your best Pokemon is.
Yeah.
And give us your tips and tricks, because we're all still pretty new. So,
Oh, do you guys know that you can do the curveballs? If you, like, circle your ball and then throw around?
yeah, I was
Get
doing
extra
that for a
points.
while, and then I was like, risky, not doing it.
I wasted a lot of Pokeballs doing
Yeah,
that while
me
we
too.
were
But,
casting.
well, there's a tip and trick for anyone who doesn't know.
I'll have to learn that.
That is a good one, actually.
You get bonus experience, like up to 100 instead of plus 10.
Really?
You can get plus 100.
I'm definitely going to learn that now.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's our preemptive review of a game that seems like it's in beta, but is still technically out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hashtag Safe Hannibal.
Hashtag
Oh,
sit
good
down.
Tack that on there. Very unrelated topics, but like, still
Gotta
need them
get
there.
it out.
All right. Thanks for
Yeah,
listening.
have a good
See you next time.
day, night, week, year. I don't know.
Hello, everyone, to part 2 of this week's GeekVerse podcast. I'm Travis Snail. You know me. If not, I'm Travis Snail. I want to thank Dylan, Jessica, and Taylor for doing the Pokemon Go review. Yeah, I didn't have much to say about it, so who would have thunk? I talk so much and I didn't have anything to say. I think it's fun. It's good. It's, if you're a hardcore fan, I think you'd like it. There's, maybe a few problems here and there, maybe some things they could do to keep mainstream people. And there's not much game there, but it's still fun. I played it for a bit. It was good, but I didn't have enough to be on it. That was like legitimately, other than Pokemon Snap, it's like the only Pokemon game I've ever played. So I didn't have much to compare it to. So I really want to thank those guys for getting that out there. They love it quite a bit. It's talked a lot about in our group chat. But today I'm going to be talking about the newest Jason Bourne. I saw that at the time this recording on Thursday. I saw that with Dynamic Duos Kyle. Could not make it. He's going to Alberta for some reason, so we wanted to review it. Didn't match up, so I was like, okay, I'll throw it as Dylan would say, the quick review, so get my thoughts out there, stuff like that. So yeah, let's start. Okay, so with this movie, I can't say, I guess just to preference this is, I said a few months ago, I think when the first trailer dropped at Super Bowl, that little teaser ring, like one-punched the guy. Other than comic book movies, because I'm a big comic book fan, you slap anything comic book related on a movie, that's going to be my most anticipated. I'm going to be excited. Squad's out next week, very excited. So it's like, I kind of always put those to the side when I'm talking excitement. And for movies that were not comic books, this was my most anticipated, I was most excited by this movie. Even more than Star Wars Rogue One, which is funny, because like I love Star Wars so much. That's probably like my number, 3. It'd probably be like one, like, comics is number 1, wrestling's number 2, and then I think Star Wars might be number 3, to be honest. But it's just something about Rogue One. I'm not feeling the hype yet. I think I will closer, and it's just because it's just got Star Wars, so it's already that, we've talked about before. Like, oh yeah, I just got Star Wars, so it's not as special. Bourne, I think we haven't gotten like 8-7 years, at least the Matt Damon one. Never saw the Bourne Legacy, never did. Just one of those movies that missed. It looked good enough. I like Jeremy Renner. I believe Edward Norton was the villain in that. So great cast. I just didn't get around to it. And then when I talked to enough people, just like, oh yeah, like, you could skip it. So it was never. And not enough people said, oh yeah, you gotta see. So yeah, never got around to it, but heard like mild things. So this is like the first real Bourne movie that's come out in quite a while. Matt Damon was back, Paul Greengrass was back, so you got that great combo that everyone was really excited for. I was too. And yeah, when they announced it, I was excited. When I saw that teaser, I was excited. I've been excited this whole time. And I wouldn't say that it met my expectations. I would say that it is a disappointment. but I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. And I actually think it's a good movie. I'm going to keep this pretty spoiler-free for once. Most of our reviews are spoiler. I think near the end of the cast or the review, I'll get into some spoilers, and then I'll warn you. But it's still a good movie. It's a solid movie. It's like, and to preference this, I usually do it at the end, but I'm going to do it at the beginning. It's like a solid 7. No more, no less. I don't think it will change on a rewatch. You know, you got Matt Damon back as Bourne. He's always great. You got the high action and intensity. The action scenes, there's a lot of action scenes in here, and they're great. You got car chases, you got fight scenes, all that. You got your classic, you know, oh, is that Bourne? You know, your classic Treadstone henchman and blah, blah, blah. So it's like pretty much everything you love about the Bourne movies are there. They're just like a little lacking, you know. So like when I talk about action scenes, like I think in every movie I don't know about every movie. I meant to watch them all back to back. I only watched one before the newest one came out, and I just didn't have the time. So, but I still recall always, even in that first movie, he has about 3 separate like fights, you know, like with not just fights like when he fights like regular police guy or like, you know, law enforcement guy or border patrol guy. Like, no, like he'd fight like the guy that comes through the window and, you know, like there's the pin, or like in the second one, the magazine guy. And then there's always like the kind of like top like assassin boss, you know, the one that's the highest paid, or the one that just happened to find him last. But there's always a few fights where this one, there's lots of action scenes, but they didn't really feel like there feels like there's only one of those fights. And like, this is a minor spoiler, he has one of those fights in the middle of the film that feels like, oh, it's going to be like that like 5-minute like brutal battle, and it's over really quick. And it's not too bad, because, you know, like it was still cool and everything, but it's over really quick. And I don't recall, I saw the movie 2 days ago, so I should remember, but I don't recall him having any other big fight scenes other than one near towards the end. And that one's a good one. I quite like it. But yeah, so that felt a little strange. And like, that's the one thing I do have to watch again. It wouldn't waver my score, but there were definitely times where it felt like Damon was kind of gone for a bit, or not gone, and just like, he doesn't talk much in these movies, but it just felt like he wasn't talking the most out of the other movies. You know, like it felt like, and I imagine the screen time is probably the same. It just felt like something was a little missing. I'm not sure why. It just felt like, I still felt like I was watching Bourne, but there's just times where he'd kind of go black. They did a lot of brain fart. They focused a lot on Alicia Vikander, who does great in this movie, because from the trailers, they probably played her down because they didn't know what they had on their hands. This fucking amazing actress / great or Academy Award winner. I'm sure they knew they had a good actress, but still, like, she's blown up. So it's good to see she's actually in the movie quite a bit. I thought she was just going to be, like, computer, like, co-ed number 1, you know, like, just like Tommy Lee Jones's little minion. And she kind of is, but it's not to the extent of she just doesn't sit in a room the whole movie. So she's great. Tommy Lee Jones is really good. He's doing his classic Tommy Lee Jones, but it's a little bit, like, I feel like it's better. You can tell sometimes that you look at, like Mission in Black 3. Coming to a theater near you. Mission in Black 3. Men in Black 3. It just kind of seemed like, oh yeah, he's playing Tommy Jones. And even then, he kind of said those comments about the first Avenger. You know, he's just like, oh yeah, it's nothing new. This isn't really nothing new, but it feels like he's doing the stuff that he does usually, but just a bit better, a bit more focused. That could be some of the writing, because I think the writing's pretty good here, other than a few things I'll get into. But I think the writing's pretty good. It's still tight. It's still lots of fun and adventures. Vincent Cassel does a great job. He's like the villain. He's like one of the main, like, you know, the main assassin, the end boss, as you would know him as. I'm a big fan of his. I can't remember. I think the first time was what were those? Oceans. I can't remember. Did he debut in 12 or 13? I think it was 12. But that was the first time I saw him, and ever since then, like, any movie I see him in, he's just fantastic. And then right after that, I saw him in, it was like Eastern Promises, and then there's movies in between that, but then like Black Swan. Like, there's all these movies that I really liked, he was always popping up on. He's just such a strong actor. Like, he if he's in your movie, it goes up by at least a 0.5, you know? He's damn good. So he's good. Everyone's good in this movie, acting-wise and cast-wise. I can't remember there's a guy that plays like an Apple Steve Jobs type of role. I can't remember his last name. I really apologize. I think he's on The Night Of. I know his name is like Riz something. I've only seen him in Nightcrawler, and it blew me away in Nightcrawler. He's fucking phenomenal, Nightcrawler. If you've not seen Nightcrawler, go check it out. I think that was my favorite movie of, I think it was 2014, that and Whiplash. But he's phenomenal in that. He was in this. He did a really good job in this. He made in Rogue One. I think this kid, he's fucking older than me. He just seems like he looks young, you know, but I think he's going to be around for a while, and he's going to be in some really big movies and do some really good performances, because anytime he's just in it, there's certain actors I think have a believability about them, and he does have that. The second you see him on screen, you believe his character. Nightcrawler, you believed he was this like down on his luck, really poor, and just need a break guy. In this one, you believe that he's kind of this like, like the Steve Jobs character. I'm not going to spoil it because that's a main plot point, but he's just like, he does play a point. It's just pretty much the same as like someone big as that, a big business mogul who's, you know, friendly and everyone, but, you know, of course, like movie wise, behind the scenes, he's stressed and, you know, has some secrets, stuff like that. But he plays it well, and he's actually a big standout in this. Julia Stiles is good in this. Yeah, like I'm trying to think of let's not follow the positives before I get to the negatives. And it's like, it's not like a if you listen to our Killing Joke review, it's not, the negatives are not like huge. They're just things where it's like, oh, that could have been better. That could have been better. Yeah, I think I'll get into them now. Positives will come up, and maybe I didn't stress it, but Matt Damon, phenomenal as usual. He's good as Bourne. He's comfortable as Bourne. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, and it was good to see him. It's good to see him back. Yeah, so we'll get into some of the negatives, and like I said, I'll keep these spoilers free for a little bit, and then I'll jump into spoilers. And even then, the spoilers, to me, you could probably hear them, and if you haven't seen the movie, still watch the movie. It's Bourne. You know what it is. It's high action, them chasing a guy who's, you know, a project that got away, you know, like they're all the same. And that's one thing, I guess, my first negative, though, that this felt very much like Force Awakens for the Bourne-wise, and some people say this, where Force Awakens is a cover song to New Hope, and I feel like it kind of is. I do feel like they do new stuff, and I actually, if you've listened to any of our podcasts, I actually love the Force Awakens. I don't care. I think that's what they needed, and I was fine with this, but it feels sometimes this movie is kind of like a been there, done that, or something like we've seen before. You know, there's certain things that echo other movies, so it's that thing of like, yeah, it could kind of be looked as like a tribute, and I don't think it is, but it's the thing where The Force Awakens has this thing where it's been like, you know, 30 years or something since A New Hope, where Bourne, it's not even been a decade, so it's not like, oh yeah, I want to revisit those tropes. It's like, yeah, I could still watch them, and they look great. You know, New Hope, you can still watch them, but it's like the thing of like, they don't look dated, but you know what I mean. It's a little older, whatnot. You want to see an updated version with the effects, where nowadays, it's like, this just looks a little bit nicer and cleaner, but whatever, 2002, 2001 when the original Bourne came out, still looks like a great movie. I just watched it, and then Ultimatum holds up because it was 2007, I think. So it just, I don't know if, it's hard to, because I feel like with the crew and like the cast, the returning ones at least, I don't think it was this thing of like, hey, we gotta make a movie, does anyone have an idea? I don't think it was that. I feel like they had an idea. I just felt like maybe it's just been done a little bit, and they try and give it a new little twist, and to me the new little twist doesn't really work out because it doesn't really fit, to me, with Bourne's character per se. It fits with, like, I don't know, it fits, maybe they try and make it sound, I don't know, because they try and make, they'd have the whole thing with David Webb and Jason Bourne, because David Webb is his real name, and it's just kind of like, you never know who they're really talking about. Like, they say that there's certain motivations for the character. At one point, and this is my spoiler, one of the characters call him a patriot, like, to his face and whatnot. And I imagine he was patriotic because he joined up to save his country, but they really overplay it in this. You know, like, it feels like they're talking to Captain America sometimes, you know? And, of course, when you sign up to war, anybody, and there's people that didn't even go sign up to be a soldier that are patriot. And I imagine he is, but they really try to hit that home, and it didn't really work for me because it's just like, I never got that vibe. I got the vibe of, you know, he signed up because of a certain reason, which they spoil in the trailers, because his dad died, or his dad was killed, so he wanted, you know, revenge on the terrorists that did it. But in the original movies, we didn't know that. So he signed up for some certain reason. But I just didn't ever catch him as, like, super patriotic. Just, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to watch those last two again. I could be wrong. But it just felt really out of place. Like, okay, sure, it is patriotic, but they just use it a couple more times, and it's like I just kind of got the vibe that Bourne in these movies wanted to get away and live a semi-normal life. Let's see. I'll get into 2 more plot points that are negatives, and then I'll give my score, and then I'll just do a few. I gave my score already, solid 7. I'll give a few more plot points, and I'll get into some spoilers that I think are worth talking about. Like I said, if you haven't seen the movie, I think you could listen and still watch and enjoy it. It's still a fun movie, still good. I'm happy I saw it, especially on the big screen. I think it's definitely one. If you're a Bourne fan, you have to see it. So the other thing is there's a couple underdeveloped plots. And characters, and I'm not going to say which one here because it's still the non-spoiler portion, but there's just one character that, the minor spoiler, helps Bourne out. You won't know which one. There's many characters in this movie. Helps Bourne out, and they say at one point, why are you doing this? And because, I can't remember the last name, it's like Robert Smickey, the main bad guy, which is, it's Tommy Lee Jones. You should know this by the trailer. If you don't know this, it's always some fucking old shady guy. Like, it's always that in Bourne. So if you didn't know that, then I don't know. You haven't watched trailers, which is good for you, so I'm sorry. Or you just haven't seen a Bourne movie. Because you saw the second they cast Tommy Lee Jones, you're like, oh, okay, he's a bad guy. So at one point, Jason Bourne is helping this person. Hey, why are you helping me out? And they pretty much just say, like, oh, I have my reasons for wanting to take him down. And you're like, oh, this is that's cool. Like, I want to get into it more. Maybe something, shady happened. Maybe a death family member. I don't know. It just implied something much bigger, or just something more intriguing for the character. And it's never really come back around. It's not spoke about again, and like I get it. She's just, they're just saying like, oh yeah, well that I got my reasons, and they don't gotta explain themselves. But it's like, as a movie, you kind of have to explain that. If this was a TV show, it's different. You can say that, and then like, oh, maybe a couple episodes later on. But it's like, you got 2 hours. You want to flesh out all your characters, and they didn't really with that, and that bugged me, because then there's a line later on with another character where they are one of the people that are hunting down Bourne. And like I said, minor spoiler, but Tommy Jones is like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, the person makes kind of a rash decision or an idea, and he's like, oh, you should never, let your personal insight, your personal conflicts get in the way of your work. And then I'm kind of like, oh, okay, so this person has like some connection to Bourne. Same thing, maybe he killed somebody. Same thing they did in, I think it was the second one, if not it was the third one. I can't remember, but the one where he like had killed the girl's family member, and he went to apologize for everything like that. So I was like, oh, maybe this person is like that. They have some backstory. Same thing. Never. We don't know why that he says that line of like, oh, don't let your personal feelings get in the way. And right away I was like, oh man, that's great. But no, it's not explained. And these are minor things. Like, the movie overall is still good, but it's still why it's like a 7. It's and this and the other thing I'll bring off kind of 2 points, especially the big thing coming up, and I'll talk about right now, non-spoilery, and then I'll give you the warning because it will go into spoilers very quickly. There is a twist in this movie that everybody enjoys movies the way they want to, like you like what you like, everything like that. And I always use this example of, if you listen to Dynamic Duo or Rant Repeat, or even he's been on a few GeekVerse podcasts, Liam, good friend and buddy of mine, he always says that his biggest thing is he hates exposition. He hates when a character just sits there and talks for maybe 5-10 minutes about having to explain the movie to you. And I get that. It's not my biggest gripe, but I understand that, and I always think about that when when I hear exposition, I'm like, oh, Liam's hating this. And I've said this many times for myself that my number one pet peeve is coincidence. I'll use 2 examples of like more recent films that I eye roll, and it really takes me out of it. The first one I'll talk about, it's already a trash can on fire, but it's Amazing Spider-Man 2. But it's a little thing of like, Peter Parker's trying to find out stuff about his dad and info about his dad and blah, 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 and all this. And then at one point he takes his dad's, I don't know what it is. It's something, what is it? I can't remember. Either way, it's out of his dad's briefcase. His dad has been dead. He's trying to find out information about his dad. So he slams something up against the wall, and it breaks, and all these like quarters come out, and blah, blah, blah. And of course it leads to this secret subway and a secret base and a secret lab and all of this. And it's the same thing of like, I would like Peter to be like playing with, let's just say it was a cassette. It's not a cassette, but let's just say it was a cassette. I would like him to be playing with the cassette and like, he picks it up and he's looking at it and he kind of hears like a jiggle, and then like he sees a screw and he unscrews it and finds it. Perfect. Awesome. But no, he throws up against the wall. Because the problem with me in coincidence, and it can happen every once in a while, but I hate when major plot points happen around coincidence. He throws up against the wall, finds these quarters to the secret base. If he doesn't do that, he doesn't find any of this. And that changes the entire movie. And that's what I don't like. He's kind of dumb. And my biggest one, which I really didn't like, because Amazing Spider-Man 2, okay, that was already a thing. But was Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman. Not going to spoil the whole movie, but at one point, Jake Gyllenhaal plays a cop, and to find out how, so minor spoiler, but it's not that big. You should, if you've not seen the movie, like I said, it will not spoil the whole movie to you. Who's the killer? Who's the kidnapper? All this. He is looking through his files, and because the main plot is 2 girls are kidnapped. That's not a spoiler. That's the main plot of the movie. 2 girls are kidnapped. He's been trying, whole movie, of course, to find out who it is. He's looking through all these notes, all this thing, blah, 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 blah. Just looking and looking and looking and trying to find just something. And then in a fit of rage, he throws his papers. And he throws his papers, and he gets really mad. And somehow these papers, like 3 or 4 papers, land on top of each other in the right way to form kind of like, I think it's like, I won't spoil it, but it's like a symbol or a logo that would point towards something that might help him. But it's like, so if Jake Gyllenhaal's character doesn't throw a fit and doesn't get mad, he's no closer to finding these girls. And I would have liked it, him being a detective and him as a character would have been same thing, looking through the papers, and like he slowly stops and he's like, oh, that kind of matches, or that could be something, But it's like, no, if he didn't have a hissy thing through the papers, we wouldn't get the same result we do in the movie. So coincidence is a big thing. I use those 2 examples because I don't want to go into the spoiler of it. I'm just trying to think if I want to. I'll say just the twist. There is a twist here that happens, and it is a big, big coincidence. That's all it. And it really hurt the movie for me a little bit of just like, it's an eye roller. Anytime you get an eye roller, that sucks. And in Bourne movies, I don't, and at least, like I said, for the Damon ones, I never experienced eye rolling moments. They're all super tight. So I'm about to jump into some spoilers. So if you're ducking out now, thanks for tuning in. Check us out every Saturday. Like I said, solid 7. Still enjoyable. If you love, I'd agree. I think it's like you have your generic like Olympus Has Fallen. These are better than all those, but it's like it's better than most action movies out there, but maybe it's not as good as Bourne. So that's my last little final thoughts. Getting into spoilers. So if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I don't think it ruins it. If you're never planning on seeing it, I think it's worth listening to. Main twist is, so Vincent Cassel's the main assassin villain. He gets a great motivation to hunt down Bourne. And that's one thing that the characters don't usually do, like the assassin characters. They're just hired guns. So he's on a mission. Tommy Lee Jones phones him. Hey, Bourne's in play. He drops everything because he wants to get Bourne. Because we learn that in the third one, when Bourne dropped all these files, that he called out some people that were undercover. So Vincent Cassel was like in a foreign country somewhere, undercover in an operation. They find out it's him, and he gets taken, and he's tortured for 2 years, and you see the scars and the marks all on his back, all this and everything like that, and you're like, this is a great motivation. And the thing is, they do a good job of, you would think, hey, how's this guy the villain? Like, he was tortured for years, and he wants to kill this guy who, turned him over and kind of betrayed him and was a traitor, so it's a great motivation, and you're kind of thinking like, oh, how can he be the bad guy? But throughout the movie, he's constantly killing innocent people to get what he wants. So it's that thing of like, oh, you understand why he's doing this, but he's crossing a line. You can't be cheering for this guy to get Bourne, because 1, obviously you like Bourne, but 2, if he was just if he just had that motivation, didn't kill anybody, you could kind of like honestly kind of be on his side. But no, he kills like at least in the 10 range of people, innocent people that are just working. And this is before this big twist, and the big twist has to do with him. So that's the character setup, and then they keep showing flashbacks of Bourne's dad being killed. Bourne's dad, apparently Craig Treadstone, he gets bombed. I'm not going to go over the whole plot. Still go watch the movie. Craig Treadstone, he gets bombed. You don't know why. You'll find out eventually. But the long and short of it is, first, there's 3 flashbacks, and at first it's made to look at like the terrorist did, so that's why Bourne did it. And then the second one is, and Bourne's there, so he finds his dad all blown up. Second one is same thing, looks like the terrorist, but Bourne sees like a Jeep, or like it's a truck, and the driver's face is blurred. I'm starting to get worried because there's only few people it could be, and they're really emphasizing on this guy's blurred face, and I kind of have an idea who it is, but then the third one confirms it. Same scene, he looks up at the truck, and it's Vincent Cassel, and it's that assassin. And that, for me, was a huge, huge eye-rolling moment, because the second flashback, I was already like, please don't be him, you know? Please don't be him. And then the third one, oh, yeah, it's Vincent Cassel. And then it's like, is that, like, when I somewhat coincidence earlier, so you have this guy who's in the fourth movie, just happened, the guy that's hunting him down now happened to kill him. So it's like, I guess I'll go from the beginning, or happened to try and hunt him. Then that's what I mean. Like, it gets a little mucky, and it's this thing of like, oh yeah, life's so strange and short. But I'd like, in a movie wise, when you can write different ways, it comes off kind of lame for myself. If you liked it, that's cool. But anytime you do the whole "this guy killed my dad" thing, it has to be really well done, or it comes off cheesy. This kind of came off cheesy. So I'll do the whole thing. This is before the first movie. Vincent Cassel kills Matt Damon's dad. Okay. You jump years later. Bourne release these files, and it just happens that this guy who's undercover in a mission, the same guy that kills Bourne's dad, gets kidnapped and tortured. Now, I guess you can kind of be like, oh, well, that's karma, but it's still just kind of like, oh, what a coincidence, like, he just happened to do that. And then 3, of course, and that's why Tommy Jones' character calls him, but for the movie writing and as a movie goer, of course, this guy who just happened to kill Bourne's dad, and who's still alive, still in the agency, and got tortured, just happens to be there, ready to kill Bourne, and he's gonna go kill Bourne. And it's this thing of like, for me, they kind of ruin the character's motivation. Yes, the character is a hitman, so they just hired him to kill Bourne's dad. So I get it. It's not like he's really evil, but it's the thing of like, I like the character being like, hey, this Bourne took 2 years of my life. You know, and I'm going to stop at nothing to get him. But now it's this thing of like, oh, and I also killed his dad. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Then it's kind of like you kill his dad, but then you getting tortured kind of bounces the scales of life, you know, in my opinion. But so that was a little lame. It was a little eye rolling. And that's where it did feel a little generic action-y. Unlike Bourne movies where it's just, you know, I'm not going to actually talk too many spoilers. I want you to go see the movie and enjoy it. Tommy Lee Jones, of course, he plays the main bad guy, and I said this earlier, but it's like, he's like also part of Treadstone, and then halfway through, he's just like, oh yeah, I knew Bourne was always going to come back for me, and it's like, how many fucking Treadstone guys are there, you know? And I get it, it's a plot device, there always has to be that guy, but it's just like, Chris Cooper, can't even speak, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Cox. I can't remember his last name, but it's David something. I don't even think he was linked to Treadstone. And then like this guy, and it's just like, oh, always Treadstone. They do this main plot about privacy and hacking and everything like that. They drop Edward Snowden's name about 3 times, which was good, but it's just like kind of like, okay, we get it. It wasn't subtle. We get what you're going for. You're going for the privacy hacking kind of controversy and dilemma going on in the world right now, and like how private can you be, and for me, I guess, here's the 2 last spoilers. 1, Julia Stiles dies right away. Called that easily. I called that. I guess I didn't probably say on Cassie I didn't talk about, but the people I saw it with and like our secretary is like, she's not making it in this movie because it's just like he's not gonna be carrying her around. They do it pretty almost similarly. That's how I said like Force Awakens, very much to Bourne supremacy. She gets sniped accidentally when the guy's trying to shoot Bourne instead of her, you know, or just going for Bourne and takes her out in the process. So it was all right. It was predictable. And then the last thing, I guess, spoiler-wise, unless something comes up, I didn't buy why he was coming out. You know, like he was perfect. He was fine. He was in the clear. He was out. But then, like, Julia Stiles' character's Nikki has been looking into, and it's like, oh, Black Hand. They're looking, or not Black. Yeah, Black Hand is what they're gonna become. It was the Treadstone people trying to start this program, Black Hand, and just like she's like, oh yeah, Treadstone, they're back at it again, and you don't want them to do this and blah blah blah. And I get it. Bourne, as like a good person / character, might want to be like, hey, I don't want this to happen to people. Like what happened to me, I don't want to happen to them. But I didn't buy it as like the first 3 movies. Like to me, he's kind of a little selfish. He just wants a life like the first one. Just leave me alone, never come back, blah blah blah. But then they do this crescendo, and this movie is I won't say who, but a certain character finds these recordings and breakdowns of Bourne's psychology and his mental capacity and whatnot, and it's by a doctor and a therapist, and it has this whole narrative of like, oh yeah, he's gonna want to escape, but then once he's alone out in the wilderness for a long, I'm definitely paraphrasing, they did not say this, alone in the wilderness for a long time, he's gonna want to come back because life out there will be cold and there'll be nothing there for him, and this might be a way to bring him back into the agency, and they play with that little idea, and I didn't like that because I swear they've never hinted at that, so it's just this thing of like, maybe it was because maybe we want to make more, so it's like, oh, how could we? Oh, just bring Bourne back in as an agent or like a guy that's going to go on missions. I'm not spoiling it because that's not the ending. That's just like what the character's motivations are at some point is to bring him back in. And that's kind of what this one felt as far as like, the first 3 movies felt like, I'm Jason Bourne, I want to get the hell out of here and have a life. Where this one felt like, okay, Bourne's going on a mission. Now, he always had a mission, but it felt like, the other movies felt like he had to do this mission or do this thing to get free, or to extend his life. For this, he was literally in the clear, Like, he did not need to come back at all. It's not like in Skyfall when MI8 is getting bombed and whatnot, and James Bond, like, kind of feels a need after M talks to him to come back. Like, he really has no reason. And this Black Hand thing turns out to be, like, just a hacking piracy, like, privacy thing. And, of course, that's a big thing. I'm not saying that's a big issue. But Bourne, like, kind of takes it as, oh, I guess I gotta stop it. So it felt kind of James Bondy in that way of, like, he's going on a mission now. And I didn't really buy it because the character, like, I felt like this movie tried to make it seem like, oh, yeah, this has always been the character with this. He would never be able to be happy, and he would, he's a patriot, but like to me in Supremacy, he looked pretty happy before like they found him, and maybe that's because like spoilers in this movie, he's just alone in fight clubs, but it's like, I'm sure in the past 8 years, he could have, with his identity, met a girl with all that money and settled down. Like, honestly, like he seemed happy in Bourne Supremacy. That's the thing. So like, I guess they could be like, oh, the sentence has been extended, but it's just, I didn't buy the reason why he came out and the why he had to do this and why there had to be a 4th movie. I think, like I said, I don't think they just did to do a 4th movie. I hope not, and I really enjoy it. It's still good. It's still, at the end of the day, once he gets in the mix, they make things kind of make more sense, and then of course they're after him, so it's just the classic, like, oh, I gotta get away again. So, yeah, I think that's about it. It's good. Solid 7. If you don't like Bourne movies, I don't think you're going to like this one. This is not where to start. Not that you won't like it. You'll like it if you just like action movies. It's fun. But it's like you need to know like a little bit of the lore. If you love Jason Bourne movies, you could love this movie. I think no matter what, you'll like it. I guess you could dislike it. But it's still... It doesn't do enough negative or damaging things to it. It's not... I don't know, it's not like, I hate to say this, but it's not like a BVS for some people, like myself, or like a Liam, and I guess I'd use more Liam, because me, I still like it, I give it like a 6, like I give it past grade, but Liam, it's kind of, for him, like, too much bad outweighs the good, and for me, with Jason Bourne, not at all. There's a few bad things, there's a few kind of plot devices and plot stories and plot points that could have been tighter, and could have been a bit more executed. Some characters were a little underdeveloped, one in particular, but it's still good. It's still lots of fun. It's Bourne. It's the same old. So, and that's what I mean. I guess, and that's kind of a negative thing too. The same old. It doesn't feel like anything too new, other than it being a new movie, new characters. It doesn't feel like anything too new, but it's still really good. I'd still say go and see it in the theater. I wouldn't even wait to home because it's great. There's a Vegas car chase scene that is fantastic in the big screen. So I think it's a go watch. It's lots of fun. Matt Damon's Bourne, always good. And hey, if they make another one, I'll be there. And I'll be just as excited. This wasn't... 7 is still good, like it's not... I'm not like, oh, like... And yeah, I was disappointed, but not in the sense where it's like if you go listen to our last week review, Killing Joke review, where I was just like dead and soul crushed. This was like, okay, wasn't as good as the others, but still had a great time. Would likely watch it again. I would watch a 5th one. So, yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, we got our Suicide Squad review. That's going to be lots of fun. It's going to go up right Thursday night. Going to see it and then get back to one of our studios / houses, record it. Going to be lots of fun. I'm looking very forward to it. I've said over the past few weeks, like, I'm not that excited. I'm getting excited as it's less than a week away as I'm recording this. So And I think it's going to be a really, really fun review because I feel like that's going to be a Device movie. Honestly, I hope not. Like, I hope that we just go all see it and it's like Deadpool, like, man, phenomenal. And we just get to talk about how phenomenal it is. But I have a feeling it's going to be a somewhat divisive movie. So thank you for tuning in. Check that out. Check everything else out. Check all our spin-off shows. We got Geeks Creed. We got Rant, Rave, Repeat. We got Dynamic Duo, we got Netflix and Fail. All great shows, all something for you. If you like comedy, if you like Assassin's Creed, if you like comic books, if you like just watching movies with Netflix, if you like wrestling, I've been talking about wrestling a little bit, might do that a little bit more. If we got it all covered for you. And you can find that all at iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. Please subscribe and rate. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. Same on Twitter and Facebook. Reach out to us. After Comic-Con, I have a lot of people on Twitter and a few people on Facebook like reaching out saying like, oh, I like this, or could you change this, or a question, this or that. We answer as quickly as possible because we're just like you, we're fans. So and I'm a big fan of podcasts, so I want our podcast to always improve and be better. So it's like, we're never going to ignore. And hey, same thing, we had one person when we did a Warcraft review, didn't like that and came to us and talked about. Same thing, if you don't like this review, if you don't like the review of Pokemon Go or Killing Joke, talk to us about it. We love talking to the fans, so thank you very much for tuning in. Next week's Suicide Squad, I promise you that one will definitely not be boring.